I'm talking to Bastian, one most foreigners and working as English teachers, where they live in Thailand for many years. Bastian is working in the more interesting line of work, namely politics. Welcome. How long have you been living in Thailand?
Well, I've been living in Thailand for a little over 5 years. Yeah, almost about 5.5 years now.
Tell me a little story about yourself.
Well, I'm Dutch, so I was born in the Netherlands. That's where I grew up and lived about the first half of my life. Till I was about 15, then I moved to the US. In America, I lived for a couple of years. I've also lived in England, in Germany, Belgium, and now I ended up in Thailand. What else would you like to know?
What do you do for a living in Thailand?
Well, at the moment, I'm working as an international political advisor in Thailand and also as a government liaison, which means that if any of the parties within the political system here in Thailand have any questions about their political system or how political systems are run across the world, especially in Europe, then they come to me for advice. And also when the government or any other political parties have any issues or any questions, also once again with mainly European countries, then I serve as the middle person between the two parties.
How did you get involved with politics in Thailand?
Well, that's quite a long story. I'll try to give you a short one. As I said previously, when I was about 15 years old, I moved to the US. I went to high school there for a little while, and that's where I met one of my friends. He's a Thai guy, and we became pretty good friends. I lived there for about 2.5 years, and after that, we didn't really stay in contact for a long time. After about 10 years, we got back in touch. That was right before I moved back to Thailand. Then, I think about 1.5 years ago, he called me and said, okay, at the moment he's involved in politics through his father. With the upcoming elections back then, that was, I think, June last year, he was getting involved in a political party and he asked me to come along to one of the political meetings, meet some people there, maybe give some advice. So yeah, that's pretty much how I entered Thai politics.
Tell me your most memorable experience in the line of work.
Well, one of the most memorable experience that I've had in my line of work also happened here in Thailand. That was several months ago. One of my friend's contacts asked me and him to accompany him to the south of Thailand. At the time, they were thinking about setting up an organization that would commit itself to dealing with the problems in the south of Thailand. As you know, in the south of Thailand, there have been several groups causing problems between the mainly Muslim population there and the Thai government. And they were trying to set up an organization that would eventually attempt to solve that problem. The contact arranged for us to go talk to one of the generals who works for the southernmost intelligence headquarters there in the south in Yala. We had breakfast with him. Everything was okay. We started traveling around several provinces there, talked to a lot of people, and then we went back home. And we thought, okay, everything went fine. We were still alive. At first, I was a little bit nervous because you heard a lot of stories at the time about car bombings, about shootings, about people dying every day. So yeah, it was a little bit scary. So I was happy to get back home. About 3 weeks later, he went back down there to south, went to talk to the general again. And apparently the first thing that the general did was pull out a file of photos. And those were photos taken of us as a group, and also of me specifically, while we were traveling back. The general said that those photos were taken by several of the, or one of the members of one of the insurgent parties there. And since I was the only white person that had ever gone down there and talked to the people at the southernmost intelligence. They assumed that I either worked for the CIA or the FBI and immediately put me on a hit list. So yeah, that was kind of scary, and also yeah, I don't think I'll be going down south anytime soon.
When you see Thailand and especially the political climate within the next 5 years,
well, honestly, I don't think I will see, I don't expect a significant change in the political climate within the next 5 years. As you know, Thailand has officially been a democracy for about the last 80 years. And in those 80 years, there has only been one single government that has served its full term. So all the other prime ministers that were elected within those 80 years didn't serve their full term. They were overthrown either via a coup or another construction to get rid of them and place an interim government, either a civilian interim government or a military interim government that would rule the country for a set amount of time. Then they would organize new elections, and once again the process would start again. So with that in mind, I don't see anything significant happening in the next 5 years.
Well, that was very interesting. Thank you all for watching Part Talk. Tune in next week for more interesting story. Good night.